I'm back for Dust Justice's ongoing coverage of Fragadelphia 19. I'm your Swisher after a surprisingly hard-fought win over Chicken Coop. So let's break that match down. Started on Train, I believe, 13-0 win over Chicken Coop. Tell me about that 13-0 win.
We definitely were just going into it confident. We don't have a lot of practice on a lot of maps. I think we only have 4 days of practice coming into this event with HexT joining our lineup. So we kind of just went into Train confident, starting on CT side. The thing is, he was slotted into B, so he didn't need to know too much on CT side. We kind of already had our protocols down, and then we kind of just dumpstered them, rolled through it. And then going into Dust 2, I don't even know what happened. We were just, to me at least, it felt like we were playing nervous. I know Rory didn't think so, Def. But we were just rushing things, not playing what we need to do, not playing our game, and then just kind of let the chaos take control. And they were doubling up and tripling up a lot on like reaggros towards mid, and they were just winning the trades. And that just kind of didn't give us enough rounds on T side. And CT side we played, great.
And there was that one round there, the final round of Dust 2, where J-Chance 1v3 versus 3 remaining M80 players. He was on A ramp. You had a smoke down, obviously connector, and then one person I think coming from Cat. Walk me through what went so wrong there. I mean, that was an incredible clip. That was a highlight reel from him, and maybe a low light for M80 there.
Yeah, I think like obviously the chaos was a little bit crazy, but we just kind of laughed about it because it was a little bit of an accident. I don't think he could see. Could he have even seen the last 2 players?
I'm really not. I know he saw like one person phase the smoke, and then the other guy, I didn't even see it on screen.
Yeah, I know he peeked Slacks. Slacks just wasn't ready for the peek on top of the box, and then he just shot 2 bullets and headshot, and then body shot the 1 HP guy. So we just kind of like laughed, and it's like unlucky. We would win that 99 out of 100 times, and that was just that 1 out of 100.
Overall, though, so you take it to overpass, and you do take it in a pretty convincing fashion. But overall, what's your assessment of that team? That's a team that's kind of been on the come up recently. That perhaps, is one of those newer NA squads that's making its way in the scene.
They're definitely shooters. I think they definitely have a lot to work on though, and like in regards to I would say like defaulting. I think that's the biggest thing. Like when you compare NA teams to EU teams and such, is like a lot of teams in NA can just set strat, but that if you know that's what they do, then you just know where they are. So defaulting is like the little bit of work that they can work on to get better, and then like the right balance for things to set up your rounds.
And with that, you make it to the semifinals now, where I believe you're awaiting the winner of, I think, Fluxo Marsborn. So looking possibly like Fluxo right now as they're up a map, but anything can happen, in the series. With that, some people might say that M80 hasn't been seriously tested this event so far. In stage 2 you beat Cooking, lower level Canadian team, beat Game Hunters, who are a low level Brazilian team. Now you beat Marsborn, who are a lower level NA team. Considering some of those games and some of those maps have been closer than many would expect, how ready are you feeling for when you face an actual elite team in the form of Fluxo or Marsborn?
I think we're definitely ready. We already played Marsborn on the line. Yeah, we did. Just the other day in the qualifier for Pro League. And that game was pretty one-sided, all things considered. I think we kind of, against better teams, I think we generally play better because we kind of expect them of what they're going to do, and I think we even take like a bigger mentality step going into the game, that we're more like prepared for things. We take it a little bit more seriously, and that I think kind of kicks us into overdrive and makes us play a little bit better. So we're pretty prepared.
Now with that first LAN with Hex instead of Rec, how are you feeling about that change? Obviously, Rec was your boy on M80. He was, he's someone you've been playing with since 2018, 2019, the early days on teams like Monstars and stuff. So someone you have a lot of experience with and are very sympathetic to go with. So how are you feeling about that Hex edition? How does it change the team for you?
It feels good. I miss Ethan. We were on a team for over 2 years together, I think. We played on Monsters back in the day, into ATK, into M80, up until this season. So obviously sucks seeing him leave. He was always to my right every time we were setting up. But it feels good. I think something that we lacked with Rec, with Ethan, was just a voice. He's a very quiet player, which can work, but I think nowadays in Counter-Strike it's really hard and you need everybody being super vocal. I think even I'd say Rops is probably the quietest player on Vitality, but he's probably still extremely vocal. The few comm videos you can hear, he's talking all the time still. So comms is the biggest thing that I'd say we gain out of it. I think we've done a little bit of role changes. I swapped into some of Rec's roles. Hex has picked up some of mine. So I think that kind of has refreshed us a little bit, because obviously we need to change. This last season wasn't very good for us. We qualified for the major, but that's basically it. I didn't know if I was going to be on this team coming into this season. I didn't know if somebody else was going to be gone. We really didn't know up until the last week or so what the change ended up going to be.
With after Frag 19, MND are going to be coming back to the NA scene, playing a lot more NA events. You accepted an invite to the Eagle Master Series. I believe you're going to be playing in some of the ECL Cups. You have that one, I believe, Thunderpick qualifier or something coming up. Whereas in the first half of the year, you didn't really play a whole lot of NA events. How do you feel about being sort of back in the North American mines?
I mean, it's obviously sucks to be in NA compared to EU because you just get better practice in Europe. But then we kind of realized once we were watching Energy and these other teams, kind of Blue Jays and stuff, play the Fragadelphias and these and the random cups online, just how many points you get from these tournaments when there's I would say not very much opposition, not very strong opposition. It's kind of laughable to not play it. You need to play it because at the end of the day, the major is all that matters. We're going to qualify to everything we can qualify. We hope upcoming Blast, and what else is the other qualifier coming up?
You got Blast, you got the major, obviously, at Thunderpick, yeah.
Yeah, Thunderpick and Blast, we want to qualify to those. That should really throw us into the top 20. I mean, first place for Thunderpick's 20K, I think, prize pool. If we win this, it throws us into another 18K. So that's going to really throw our prize money up, and that's going to really kick us into the top 20 for invitations.
And definitely, like we saw with NIP in Vegas, they went into Frag Vegas it's number 70 in the world and ended at 28 in the world just from winning Frag. So it definitely seems like it's a big opportunity for teams to come here and perform at Frag. With that, we'll see you later in the playoffs and the semifinals. So thank you so much for your time. We'll let you get ready for a semifinals matchup.